Hello everyone, this is Groovy Gift Giving. My name is Theodore. In this episode, as the title would indicate, I'm going to talk about some tips for how you can take your gift giving to the next level. There's a lot to address here, and originally there were 5 on this list, but as I started looking over them and started preparing this video, I decided to expand it to 10. You'll see as we go that there is some overlap between some of these points, but I think it'd be a little easier to understand these and communicate these if I expanded it to 10 instead of just leaving it to 5. So I'm planning to do a full video on each one of these tips, so you can look forward to that in the next upcoming weeks. But for now, I'm going to just give a very brief overview of each tip. This is a topic that a lot of people don't put a lot of thought into, and I think it is why there's so much subpar gift giving out there. So I'm going to address all 10 of these tips and some of the sub tips, but in the upcoming weeks, there will be a video for each one of these tips. The first topic on this list is listening. Now, this sounds obvious, and perhaps it should be obvious, but this is such an important, crucial tip to improving your gift giving skills that it will, I'm willing to bet, will be mentioned in every video I ever do on this channel. There are a lot of people out there who don't listen very well. If they are listening at all, sometimes they're listening to half of what someone's saying, and sometimes they're not even really, maybe they're listening, but they're not believing what the person is saying themselves. In gift giving, sometimes we like to think we know better than the person who we're giving a gift to, but if you listen to what people say, they will fairly often will tell you what kind of gift they want, even if they aren't directly saying what they want. Sometimes they will be very direct about what they're wanting, and they'll say things like hint, hint, hint about what they're wanting. Often people aren't that direct, but they will, if you're listening, they will communicate the type of gift that they're looking for. People do often go through their lives mentioning their likes and dislikes, and if you're paying attention, you'll gather all sorts of information about what would make a good gift for them. If what they are directly stating that they want is affordable and obtainable, which sometimes can be a challenge, well then get that for them. Get what they're requesting. Now, I'm a person who likes surprises. I like surprising people with gifts. So if I'm in this situation, I try to get them what they want, but still try to make a part of the gift a surprise. This might be the presentation of the gift. This might be, I guess, depending on the type of gift, it can be I can surprise them with the color or the style or a theme of some sort, or I can get them the thing that they are directly asking for and then have a supplemental gift that is more creative and thoughtful. If a person states what they want, believe them. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say exactly what they want, and people for some reason think that they'll like something else more. Now, this might sound obvious, but it still happens. So if someone says, all I want is a gift card, and you think, oh, I don't want to get them a gift card, well, you really aren't giving them what they're asking for, what they really want. And that's a little bit of a complicated issue because I'll talk a little bit later about gift cards. I'm not a fan of gift cards at all. I'm honestly not. But I think that if that's what a person wants, then that's what they want. So I have a full tip later on gift cards and how to give them and the best way to give them. Because like I said, I'm personally not a fan, and I don't like receiving them. I don't like giving them. But again, it's a different topic if someone is saying, all I want is a gift card, and you're not getting that for them. There's a reason why they're asking for it. You know, we can do things to maintain the element of surprise and to make things a little bit more thoughtful and unique, which, you know, gift cards are very much not unique. But anyway, like I said, I will talk a lot more about gift cards later on. But what if if you're listening to someone, what if they say they don't want anything? Well, this is something that happened to my family a few years ago when my mother specifically said, I want you all to stop giving me gifts for Christmas, Mother's Day, her birthday, and so forth. And the reason why she specifically requested no more gifts is she had accumulated so much stuff over the years that she was starting to get stressed out about the clutter, and she didn't know where to put anything else, and so it became a problem for her. So she specifically asked for her kids to stop buying her gifts, which is a little bit strange because we know we all like getting gifts or giving gifts and getting gifts, but yeah, there was a very specific reason for why she was saying this, and that's why, yes, it was important for us to listen. In this case, yeah, we can still get her a lot of different things. We can get her, well, some sort of gift certificate or gift card if she has an experience she would like to have, and then also something like a digital, maybe an audiobook or a ebook, or I guess a cameo of some sort. So there's a lot you can do if someone's specific reason is, I'm accumulating too much stuff. Or if someone doesn't want anything, then of course you need to respect that, and you can find other ways to enjoy being around them rather than giving something that they don't want. Now, it's a pretty different topic if someone is saying, I don't want something, when they really do. That's a bit of a different topic to get into. And I know a lot of us have been in those situations before. Sometimes it's cultural, which is something I plan on doing a whole series at some point on cross-cultural gift giving, which is a very, very interesting topic to get into. But then if someone is saying, I don't want anything, and they really do, I guess that's outside the scope of this of this video to discuss when someone is actually communicating. It's a case-by-case basis, I suppose, where if someone really does want something and it's sort of a personality quirk, that's kind of different. But anyway, in my mother's case, it was a situation of I've accumulated too much stuff. Please stop giving me so much stuff, and we all respected that. So we found other ways to give gifts, and I know that at some point, I guess when we get closer to Christmas, I'll talk about methods of alternative gift giving ideas and gift giving strategies where you can cut down on the number of gifts that you give. And if someone has specifically communicated that they don't want to receive gifts, there are other things you can do to have good experiences with them, where there is maybe a type of gift giving, but it's not something that's going to clutter up their life if they have accumulated too much stuff. So there's way more to get into on the topic of listening. But since this is an overview video, I'll go ahead and leave it there and move on to my next topic, getting the gift for them. The gift is for them, not you and not anyone else. This is another topic that on the surface sounds a little bit obvious to say, but it really is I think one of the biggest pitfalls that people run into with gift giving is that you really didn't get the gift for them. There was something else, perhaps something that you weren't even really aware of, that you were doing when you bought them this gift. There's an old joke about men buying lingerie for their wives or significant others. Is it really for the spouse or is it for the husband, is the joke. And it's a good point, I suppose. It does, of course, depend on the individual who's giving the gift and who's receiving the gift of lingerie. I think that the topic of lingerie as a gift is a topic that's riddled with pitfalls as well, so it might be one to avoid. But like I said, when you're talking about who is the gift actually for, lingerie is a decent topic. And I guess quickly, if you are going to get lingerie, make sure you know what make sure you know your spouse or significant other well enough in this respect, and make sure that's not the only gift you get. Would be my advice, which again, we'll talk about that later on. But ultimately, the idea of, is lingerie a gift for the husband or for the wife or spouse, is worth bringing up, because it might be something that she really wants, or it might be something that she realizes isn't really for her. It may be for the husband, or maybe for us, which is another way to frame that, when something isn't specifically for them, when it's for us. Another aspect of this point, of point number 2, is when you give a gift that you like, but you aren't sure the other person will like. I knew a guy who bought his girlfriend the DVD box set of the Lord of the Ring movies for her birthday. Now, I'm well aware of the fact that there are plenty of women out there who love Lord of the Rings or movies like Lord of the Rings who would love a gift like that. But this really wasn't the case in this. He was a huge fan of Lord of the Rings, and she hadn't seen the movies at all. So what he wanted to do is he wanted to show her the Lord of the Rings movies because he thought it was ridiculous that she had never seen them, even if she did sincerely like this gift. It was a gift bought without even really considering her likes or her interests whatsoever. It was bought because of his interests, which is never a good strategy for buying a gift. Frankly, what he was doing was saying, here's something that I want you to like. And that is never really a good strategy for gift buying. Another aspect of this that is important to go into is kind of a cliche for husbands over the years, and I hope that this is going away, but it is something that I know men over the years have done a lot, and that is the pitfall of buying something for the house rather than for the spouse. And what I mean by that is buying a vacuum cleaner for your wife or significant other for her birthday, or God forbid for Valentine's Day or something, is certainly unlikely to land very well. Let's say it that way. And it also frankly sends a message of, you are the one who's going to do the cleaning, so I'm going to buy you a vacuum cleaner. That is, again, just never going to be a good strategy. The thought is not good that goes into it. And I think that it's an important point to sort of, I guess, wrap your head around and understand that when you buy someone a gift, you're not getting them something that potentially benefits you, and in this case, the house as well. It's something that's for them and for them alone. It is the kind of thing that I hope is a thing of the past, but I'm sure that there are still people out there doing this. And it is, of course, a different story if a spouse specifically states, I want a vacuum cleaner for my birthday. That's a very different situation, but it is unlikely, and I certainly would never assume that that's what someone would actually want for their birthday or Valentine's Day or an anniversary present. It's something that, yes, you need to look for something that they would like, something for them, something that they would enjoy, rather than something that would benefit both of you or the house. That's what I'm getting at. Number 3 is giving gifts that are appropriate to the relationship. Now, I mentioned in my first video the example of the coworker who kind of randomly bought me the cake the one time, and how I was very annoyed and sort of uncomfortable with the purchase of this cake when we really weren't particularly good friends. It was a strange gift for someone you don't know very well to go out and buy. Even if it is on the surface nice, it is something that, I don't know, we always read something into gifts at times, I guess, and that's something that's important to be mindful of when you're buying gifts for someone you don't know well. On the flip side of that, giving a spouse or significant other a cheap, thoughtless gift isn't appropriate for the nature of that relationship either. So there's a lot to discuss here as well, but I do probably need to move on to my next topic here. But I guess I would say that something to put thought into is, how will this be perceived? Am I giving a gift that's in any way inappropriate for the nature of the relationship? Also, consider the concept of obligation as well, where when you buy someone a present, often they feel obligated to get you something too, and if they're overwhelmed with too many presents, or too many, if their Christmas list has gotten too long or whatever, then you can actually stress someone out quite a bit by buying them a gift. Make sure you communicate and put thought into the nature of relationship before you move forward with a gift. And it's important to consider whether you should get a gift at all when you aren't entirely sure the nature of your relationship. So the next point is to avoid generally accepted ideas of what people want. There's, for example, an assumption that all women love flowers. Now, of course, many women do like flowers, and some women very much like flowers. But it is important to understand and pay attention to a a friend or significant other's likes and dislikes regarding something like flowers. And some people may not like them at all. Some people might be allergic to them. Some people might prefer a fruit basket if they want something like that. It is an important thing to, again, pay attention to what this goes back to point number 1 and 2, I suppose, and that's getting something for them and listening to what they like and dislike. There are lots of assumptions, there are lots of, I think sometimes even cliches about what women might like, what men might like, and it's important to really put those aside and make sure you're buying gifts for the person, not buying for sort of a general idea of what people say women like or what men like or whatever. It's also important, say for example, if you had a girlfriend who liked a specific gift and it really landed well for her, don't assume that buying that same gift for your next girlfriend is going to land as well. That's a very silly thing to do, but it does happen pretty often. So yes, make sure that it's, again, you're listening and buying the gift specifically for them. There are lots of generally accepted ideas about what some people like that are sort of societal, or you'll see them in movies and TV about, what all men might like or what all women might like. And it's, like I said, very important that we don't get caught up in those ideas and that we're specifically buying gifts for the individual rather than based on societal ideas about what you should get and what people should or shouldn't like. Next point is I would avoid specialized or technical gifts unless you also are an expert on the subject. Now, if your husband is an avid golfer, I would avoid, and you aren't, I would avoid getting anything golf related unless it's something specifically asked for. This is a problem. I would honestly say this is over the years, the things that I've done, that I've given out as gifts that have been fails are because of this, because I was assuming that I could figure out what somebody wanted when they are a hobbyist or an expert in a particular area, and it's led to me making numerous bad decisions about gifts over the years. And another example would be I never buy my wife jewelry unless it's something very specific from, say, a wish list. And it's because I've learned over the years I don't understand her taste in jewelry. I've tried to understand and I don't get it. And I'm going to avoid, and it's something she doesn't really expect from me to get. She's happy to just, get her own jewelry. She has communicated that to me over and over again over the years. And I would never just go out and buy her a piece of jewelry that I think she would like. I've purchased jewelry for her, but it's been something specifically from a wish list or something I very specifically knew it was what she wanted. She has very specific taste in jewelry, and I don't have great taste in jewelry, I don't think. So it's not something she expects from me. It's not something that I particularly understand. So it's something in our relationship that we've accepted that if she wants jewelry, she either can tell me specifically what she wants, or she'll get it herself. So that's something that we've avoided, and I think it's a really good principle. But I also think that this is a pitfall for people. If you know someone who is, say, a geologist or an engineer or whatever, and you want to get them a gift, or I don't know, someone who works as a contractor, if you think, oh, I want to get them this specific tool or something, that's a pitfall too, because if you don't know what they want, what they need, then you can end up getting them something that they're just either going to return or they won't like. And of course, people so often are too nice to say whether they really dislike a gift. Okay, so it's become clear to me now that I need to make 2 videos out of this. It's gotten way too long, and I didn't anticipate it taking this long for me to get through this list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this part 1 of my 10 tips on taking your gift giving to the next level. And I'll go ahead and stop here, and I'll pick up with another video later on. And if you like this channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in my next video. Thanks.